Dixit, but that doesn't mean that there aren't radicals or radical groups there. Is this a tussle for who will be the face and who will be the leadership? And this guy comes out all of there from nowhere from the blue, appropriates Waris Punjab Day, and then tries to portray himself as the self-proclaimed leader. He's not been appointed the head of Waris Punjab Day, but that doesn't mean there isn't support for Waris Punjab Day. There isn't support for this Khalistani bent and this thought process. Sanjay Dixit.
Well, the taste of the pudding is in eating it. So I would wait for any action to happen. Because as far as this gentleman is concerned, Amit Pal Singh Sindhu is only one spectrum of this, or rather, just one band of this whole spectrum, this Khalistani spectrum. And as far as your statement that there isn't much support for this, I suspect that ever since the new government has come, it is pandering to this kind of populism all the time. And since he happens to be just one band of the spectrum, the evidence that I have is actually the Sangrur election, in which you found the rabid Khalistani Simranjeet Singh Mann getting elected. And that has happened, within 3 years of an earlier election in which they had completely forfeited everything that they had. In fact, the last election, the total number of votes that Simranjeet Singh Mann's party got was just about 60,000. And here he is getting elected. So where is the evidence that there is no support to the Khalistani narrative? My problem is that the state, whether it is the state means I take is that the entire establishment, the state as the entity, and that includes the central government as well as the state government. It has absolutely no appetite in countering the Khalistani narrative. Because that narrative of all the institutions that you talk about, that narrative is also actively espoused and promoted by the SGPC itself. In fact, what you are finding right now is a competitive radicalization in which Amrit Pal Singh Sandhu is just one band of the spectrum. And if you're targeting just that one band of the spectrum, you are not really solving the problem. And then you also must remember that what happened with Bhindranwale, how Bhindranwale became Bhindranwale is when these successive actions, crimes were ignored. There were two factions within the Congress. Gyani Zal Singh was actively protecting Bhindranwale and promoting him, even to the extent of subverting the Chief Minister then, Darbara Singh. And that led to the situation when he was going to be arrested, he was saved, and finally the situation came to a pass when he went and occupied the Akal Takht. And all this happened over a period of about 3-4 years. So I will wait till an action happens against Amrit Pal Singh Sindhu, because if it doesn't happen, then that would mean that the state government particularly, which is in charge of law and order, is not willing to intercede with any of these different bands of radicalization, Khalistani radicalization that we find in Punjab today.
But the one caveat, Mr. Dixit, that it is not, I'm not saying that Khalistanis or radicals are not finding any traction. It's just that Amrit Pal Singh Sindhu is not finding enough traction on ground, and he is largely being rejected. But I'm with you when you say that he's just one band of this spectrum, and that's the worry, because the input itself says that even within the radical groups he's being rejected. So that means there is acceptance that there are radical groups, Neeraj Atri, and somewhere would you fault the current government and also Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he removed nearly 300 of these Khalistanis who are on the watch list and in the banned list, and when he said no, you can come back to your country? Has he actually in good faith triggered a revival of this Khalistani movement? Would you fault him there?
Yeah, not only that, Anand. my mind immediately goes back to what happened on 26th of February in the capital. That, when we will look back, I think we'll mark that as a turning point when all these radical elements got a shot in the arm, because they felt that the government, especially the government at the center and partially the government of Haryana, which could have aborted all those activities, failed to take appropriate action. Now, this could have been done very easily at many points of time, not only at Singhu border, but much earlier than that. Unfortunately, the government let them run amok, and as a result, what has happened is those who were feeling that they are being sidelined, they are at the fringes, now suddenly they feel that since they are not facing that kind of opposition, or they are perceiving the state to be very weak, they are getting emboldened. And the second major event that I would like to add over here is when the Home Minister of our country, Amit Shah, goes to the house of Sidhu Moosewala after his demise. I mean, why should the Home Minister of our country be going at the demise of just an entertainer, and an entertainer who is fully sympathetic to the cause of Khalistan and all those disruptive forces? Once you start sending such feelers, then I agree with Sanjay ji that what is happening is that these radical elements are getting more traction. Unfortunately, they're getting more traction, and what state has done is, instead of taking the bully from the scruff of his neck, they're trying to pander to them, which is absolutely the wrong way of doing. But that is what has been happening for at least last 2 years, since that 26th February event happened.
Right.
So,
General KJ Singh, you agree, disagree with Neeraj Atri and Sanjay Dixit?
See, one thing I would like to put for consideration, that in Sangrur elections, it happened immediately after the Vijay Sampla incident. So there was a kind of a reluctance on part of voters to come out and vote. And Mr. Simranjit Singh Maan